Welcome to the Local Pulse on HBC. I'm Dave Dicke, and today we have as our guest Taff Roberts. Taff is the artistic director for the Sandbar Storytelling Festival, which is coming up in Winona, October 7th through the 11th. And Taff, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Dave. It's always nice to be with you again.
Yeah, great to see you again. It's been a couple of years since we've chatted in this format.
It has.
So let's start off, Taff. You've kind of been described as the heart that kind of beats behind the storytelling festival. Share a little bit about your own journey into storytelling. What brought the festival about?
We can probably blame it on COVID. During COVID, Anne and I were traveling. We came home, and I spent about 9 weeks in my backyard redoing everything, putting vegetable beds in there and everything else. And after that, my favorite songwriter, John Prine, passed away, and I went to the mourning for about a week. He was one of my favorite guys. Anyway, after that, I came in the house and I said, "What am I going to do now?" And I thought, I'd like to start another festival in Winona. And it actually was between two kinds of festivals. I grew up listening to the radio. So our entertainment was the radio, or when somebody came, my neighbors, my uncle, my aunt used to come from across the road, and they used to come and sit and tell us stories. And it was not just telling stories to children, it was just sharing stories about the past and the history and folklore and mythology and stuff like that. So when I got in my office on that day, and it was raining outside, and I thought, you know what? A storytelling festival, or maybe a choral festival in Winona, because we've got all these other festivals, and there's a lot of choral music in the Midwest, especially Minnesota. And I thought that would work, but all of a sudden I said, no, storytelling. So then I looked online, like you can do today, and check out storytelling. And I saw this storytelling festival in Lititz, Pennsylvania, a town of 5,000 people. And the lady that was running it, I called her up. Oh, she said, "Mr. Roberts," she said, "we don't do it anymore. We ran it for 12 years, my husband and I, just the two of us. And we were just so exhausted. We passed it on to somebody else, and then it failed." And then I said goodbye to her, and she said, "One day I'll be at your festival." So then I called up this other festival in Lehi, Utah. And the name of the festival is Timpanogos Storytelling Festival. And I was just there 2 weeks ago. Now, this is the second largest storytelling festival in North America. Now, you might say, how many storytelling festivals are there? Now, you might not think there's quilt shows around the country, but if you're interested in quilts, go online. There are thousands of quilt festivals around the country, but storytelling. So I started talking to Jennifer Nelson, the executive director of the festival in Utah, and she said, "Why don't you come out and see what we're doing?" So I flew out. She put me in the hotel with all the tellers, and lo and behold, I spent 4 or 5 days out there getting to know the tellers, and they said, "You're starting a show in Minnesota, a festival? You bet you will be out there. We've never been up there." So that was the beginning of it. And we're in our 4th year right now, and we are on fire this year. We have 7 top storytellers, people from all over North America.
Now, the festival emphasizes storytelling as kind of a way to connect across cultures and generations. So why do you think storytelling is such a powerful tool for empathy and understanding?
Well, Mr. Rogers used to say, I remember years ago, I remember him saying, frankly, after you've heard somebody's story, you cannot not love them. So when you hear, I'm just going to give you an example. There is a library somewhere in Denmark that you have the opportunity to have an experience to talk to somebody that's different from you, whether it's somebody who's a homeless person, somebody who is maybe a rich person, somebody who is a different culture, different religion, and you get half an hour, 45 minutes, you can sit with that person. And what you do is you listen. Storytelling is a two-way street. You have to have a teller and you have to have a listener. And I think it's important for all of us. We all have a story inside of us somewhere. And it's always important to try and put your story together and share it with somebody else, but also take the time to listen to somebody else's story. Because when you hear that story, whether it's a different religion, a different culture, a different color person, a different whatever, or somebody you didn't think you liked, but listen to their story, you might get to like them. You know, it's a very powerful tool. And teachers now, I'm telling you right now, Dave, these 7 people who are coming in, they will spend 2 days in 12 or 13 Winona County schools. They will go in the classrooms. You ask some of the kids what they think after they hear some of these tell us. Well, every year they go in and we get the teachers coming back and says, can you please come back again next year? Because we love these storytellers coming into the classroom.
Talking about the storytellers, how did you involve, how does it involve that you get really a kind of an international group of storytellers? How do you go about, first of all, finding the storytellers? Is it from just watching other festivals or connections you make, or how does that all come about?
Well, I'm the artistic director now. I was the president when I first came up with the idea, but they decided, I said, I don't want to run the board of directors. I'm not good at it. And I said, I'd like to be the artistic director. So now my job is to travel around the country, looking and seeking. I just got back from Timpanogos Festival in Utah. There were 22 tellers out there. And I get to listen. I stay in the hotel with them. So, and this year, this is our 4th year, people are saying, oh, can I come to Minnesota? Because we'd love. Now, why is it that I connected? Because I actually went to Utah. I go to Kentucky. I go to Tennessee. I go to the East Coast. And I go to these festivals and I meet these tellers. Let me tell you, Dave, the Sandbar Storytelling Festival is more well known around the country than it is between La Crosse and Rochester.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because these tellers, they come here, they like how we treat them, we pay them well, we take care of them, and actually we're in the St. Mary's University is where we have our main event, which is Friday night at 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Saturday. They like the stage there, they like the theater. We run the show on time. Most of the storytelling festivals in in south of here anyway, are in tents outside. Now, the main National Storytelling Festival, which is the largest in the world, is in Jonesboro, Tennessee, and that was started in 1974. It was there was a school teacher down there that actually decided to invite some farmers to bring their hay wagons into in front of this the courthouse on a Friday night, and said, just bring your wagons over, and we've got a couple of coon hunters that want to tell some stories. Well, the coon hunters jumped up on the wagons, told some stories. That was the first. That was a revival of the storytelling in North America, and from then, Jonesboro. If you want to become a storyteller, I don't care if you're from India, China, Japan, America, whatever, you have to go through Jonesboro, and there you will. Now the Jonesboro Festival is actually this weekend. No. Yes, it's this weekend. Last week it was in Kentucky, the main festival, and then there's the international one in Jonesboro this week, and then next week will be ours. And there will be people here from all over the country, I'm telling you. 2 years ago, we had people from 12 or 13 different states that came here just because they know who was going to be here and they wanted to listen to them. They're like groupies. They travel around the country.
What were the challenges to get the festival started?
Well, I'm glad, I really enjoy your questions that you're asking. It was a little bit of a little bit difficult at first because it was COVID. I mean, everybody talked me out of it, trying to talk me out of it because we've got already 5 festivals in town. You'll be taking money from other festivals, and it's just too much. We're a town of 27,000 people. And I said, no, it will add to it. And I still think it will add to what's going on in Winona today. We're sitting next to the Mississippi River. We slam bang in the middle of the driftless area, which is the area that the ice didn't come, and all these beautiful hills and valleys and areas that we have around here. It is physically so beautiful. And we want to make this a place that where people come. Aha, it's not a festival for 1 week. We are making this festival into a year-round festival. We have people who teach classes in the wintertime. Then we have local businesses in Winona that share their stories. We had Blados share their 100th anniversary last year. We just had Bay State do an amazing presentation for us 3 weeks ago. And then Codabo did one last year. All the presentations we do at the History Center, and they're all, you can go to our website at sandbarstorytellingfestival.org, and you can find all those presentations if you want to see them. And it's the stories, the business stories, the immigrant stories. Now, we just had 10 days ago, we just had down at the History Center, we had immigrant stories. There were 4 people that shared the stories of what it's like to be in Winona today. And it was, I don't think there was a dry eye in the house when we were done. It was beautiful. Stories, they're very powerful.
And I would think with this area, as you kind of mentioned, founded back in the 1800s, riverboats up and down through all the communities and all these. Well, I know in Winona itself, the History Center does their cemetery walk, which is actually kind of a mini storytelling festival in and of itself, just to hear the stories of the past. And I know that with such rich history around here, there must not be a shortage of material for people.
Well, as you know, Dave, the trains went through. Did people jump off the train sometimes and stay here, maybe not go away? Did people go up the river? They float down the river. Think about, would people have come through here 100, 200, 300, 400, 600 years ago? They would have walked around the river. I mean, we Native Americans, they were here. And we have this year, for the first time, we have a Native American who's going to share her story.
Let's talk about your lineup for this year.
So we have, first of all, we have Dobie Thomason, who is Apache and Lakota. And she's an amazing, I've never met her. I've talked to her on the phone for the last 4 years. I've been trying to get her to come here to tell stories. She's one of the forerunners of tellers of Native American stories. I just saw her in Utah. She was on the stage. I was staying in the hotel with her. I spent a lot of time with her, and she's going to share. She will be on the stage at the Masonic Lodge at 2 o'clock on Friday afternoon, October the 10th. And she will be on stage. And she also, I might as well include this right now, she will be doing a presentation on Rachel Carson's Silent Spring. Very powerful presentation. I saw her do it in Utah, and she will be doing it for us at 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock at St. Mary's University on the 11th, Saturday the 11th. And if you might not want to come to anything else, you might want to come and listen to her. And then we have Bill Lepp. And Bill Lepp is from West Virginia, and he is the champion liar storyteller of the world. And he's one of the funniest guys, I swear, since Jackie Gleason. If people listening are old enough, I'm sure some of you. But anyway, he's a fabulous storyteller. He's funny as hell, and he can twist some stories for you. Then we have Elizabeth Ellis, who I would say is one of the goddesses of storytelling in America today. She lives in Texas, and she was Bill's teacher. She called me up last year and said, "Mr. Roberts, I've heard about your festival. I'd like to come to it." Knowing she was immobile, she's in her 80s. She hardly travels anymore. And she says, "I want to come to your festival." She's going to be here. Not only is she going to be presenting, she also will be presenting at 3 o'clock at the Masonic Lodge, free. She also will be doing an intensive, It's a storytelling intensive, intermediate, advanced class for people from all over the country to come here and learn how to improve their storytelling. We have, I believe, two or three more slots empty on that. And that's a very affordable. If somebody wants to learn how to be a storyteller, you get accommodations, you get tickets to the festival, and the classes for 2 days. So who else do we have? We have Don White from Massachusetts, and if he doesn't make you laugh, nobody will. And he plays the guitar, and he will be doing a free concert at No Name Bar at 9 o'clock on Thursday, October the 9th. But he'll be at the festival all day on Saturday, and there are concerts at night, Friday night, from 7 until 10 at St. Mary's University, and also on Saturday night from 7 till 10. Now, who else? Josh Goforth. Dave, I was down in Cave Run, Kentucky. There's a festival that was last weekend. I was down there 2 years ago, and this guy got up on stage. His name is Josh Goforth. He got up on stage, and I said, oh my God, I got to get this dude up to Winona. So he finished his gig. I went up to him and says, I never been up to Minnesota. I said, well, would you come? I said, you betcha. So he's coming, and he's doing a live concert at the Two Farms Brewery on Wednesday at 8 p.m. I'm not kidding you. He plays 20 instruments. The instrument that he plays extremely well is the banjo, and he tells stories in the Appalachia style. He's in his early 50s. He is brilliant. He's a great storyteller, and he's a great musician. Now, during my time in Leahy, Utah, also there was a fellow there by the name of Reverend Robert Jones, and he was at our first festival, and he lives in Detroit. He's the most wonderful man, one of the most wonderful people I've ever met. And they love him in the schools here, and he's coming back. He's replacing somebody who decided they couldn't come because of illness. And the Rev Robert Jones will be doing a free concert at 10 a.m. on Saturday, October the 11th, at the Public Library in Winona. And he will be there from 10 o'clock to 10:45. He knows how to tell stories to children. Brilliant. Nice guy. And then at 10:45, the Little Drummers from Winona will be going up and down the street giving us a concert. And we've already blocked the street off, so that'll work out well. And who else do we have? Katie Knudsen. Katie Knudsen is our local Minnesota storyteller. She has worked in schools and give private lessons in storytelling. And she's been our MC for 3 years now. She will be MCing along with Laura Bradbury. And she's wonderful. And she'll be a teller at 1 o'clock at the Masonic Lodge. She'll be on at 1. Dovey will be on at 2, the Native American. And at 3 o'clock, Elizabeth Ellis, the godmother of storytelling, I would say, in America. Yeah, I think I got everybody. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I got everybody.
All right. Boy, that's going to be a great lineup.
Oh, it's a hell of a lineup, but what you have to understand is 7 o'clock on Friday night and Saturday night, they will all be on stage at St. Mary's, and they all get 20 minutes, and they're going to tell you a story. It is somewhere between laughing and crying. You're going to get more laughter than crying, but it's. And I'm going to share something. So I've watched these people. I go on and I'm trying to figure out this personality. So I have to figure out what storytellers will work well with each other. Some of them, they plot against each other and they work against each other. They actually, it's my job as artistic director is to try and put it together so they work well together. And we've got a really amazing team this year. Now we've already got next year's tellers taken care of. I'm working on 2027 and 2028 now because these people, they travel all over the country. And they're the ones that tell, the reason we are more well known around the country is because these people talk. They say, you wouldn't believe how well we have been taken care of in Winona. And we love the area. It's a beautiful stage and all that stuff.
Awesome. We are at the midway point here. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll talk more with Taff Roberts about the Sandbar Storytelling Festival in Winona, right after this.
Hello again. How excited I am to meet you. Only in New York.
Invitation delivered.
Let's show and tell, baby.
Be careful. There are others on their way.
Welcome back to the Local Pulse on HBC. I'm Dave Dicke, and Taff Roberts, the artistic director from the Sandbar Storytelling Festival, is our guest today. And the festival is next week in Winona. And Taff, again, thank you for being with us on the show today. I know you're busy with last minute details and so forth, so thank you. I was told you've once said that through storytelling we share our identities. Can you expand a little bit on that and what that means for you personally?
Well, we get to answer me the question one more time.
So through storytelling we share our identities.
Right.
What's that mean?
So what does that mean? It means that if people find out something about you, maybe that they didn't know before, well, you know what? He's not a bad guy. I just heard him say that. You know, it's hearing your story, who you are. I mean, I'll tell you, Dave, I've met people. I mean, I hate to say it, that I didn't think I liked, but I've forced myself to listen to them. And we have some common interest. And just listening to that person, I realized, I think I like this person. You know, we all have these prejudices against, he's snotty or he's snooty or he walks past, he doesn't talk to me. But there's a story there somewhere. But we share identity. We don't have to share identity, but I think it makes things happen a lot nicer if you do share your music that you sing or whatever you do, the cooking you make, or your identity or who you are. Now, I was raised in another country, and very different from this one that we live in now. I lived on the East Coast for 18 years. I was a commercial fisherman out there, and then my wife dragged me to Winona, Minnesota, and I said, hell, I'm not going out there. I don't know those people. And the people are different here. The traditions are different. We've been here for 35 years. I love it here. I love the culture here. I'm staying here. And I'm actually going to tell you that on November 5th, I've been trying to tell my story, write it down for the past, well, I don't know, 10, 15 years. And I tried to do it this summer. And I decided on November the 5th in the History Center, I'm going to go up there and tell my story in front of people, because I think I can share it a little better just in front of people, just because I'm kind of a one-on-one person. I like to tell stories to one person, but I can actually go up on stage and share it also. So I'm going to tell my story because I think I can deliver it better and I can get it out. And when people ask me questions also, it helps me. It brings me out. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. And you and I have known each other for a few years now, and you've been on some adventures, and I'm sure that's going to be a pretty interesting storytelling session when you get up in front at the History Center.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, and I can't believe I'm doing this because I questioned doing it, but I'm going to do it. What was I thinking about? I'm sharing. Oh yeah, I want to. I tell you why I'm doing it, because I was in Leahy, Utah at the Timpanogos Festival, and there was a guy there. He was 84 years of age, and he got up on stage, and I'd never heard of him before. He's a fabulous teller. He will be in Winona. I know he's 84, but I think he's doing well. And I want him to share some stories. And he told a story of when he moved from New York to Maine in 1974. I was sitting in the audience. It turns out that was the same year that I arrived on a schooner after going through a hurricane in the North Atlantic. And I arrived in Maine, and he arrived the same year. And he told a story of his experience when he first came to Maine. I want to share the story of when I first came to America, why I came to Well, I was on my way to South America, actually, down to Argentina to live. Why I ended up in Maine, why I stayed in the States, I'm going to share that, and why I'm still here. And I'm going to share that on November the 5th.
Okay, look forward to that.
And it's free. There'll be a free will donation if you want to for the Storytelling Festival, but you don't have to pay anything. It's my stuff, and I want to share it. And one day, David, I want to hear yours.
Okay, deal. We're getting really close to being out of time here, Taff. And I know we wanted to talk about the mission and value statements of the Sandbar Storytelling Festival.
Yeah. So quickly, I just want to say two things. What brought me to do this festival? Two things. When I was in the military in the Far East, coming back in 1971, I was invited to the cockpit to fly back from Singapore to London. And I was invited by the pilots to the co-pilot seat to sit down. And I never had that experience before. I was a communication person. I was a radio guy. And we were flying over on the Middle East, and I'm looking down, and I said to the pilot, I said, what are all those lights down there? Oh, he said, those are people, those are nomads just telling stories around fires at night. That's what they do. And that stayed with me. And then I went with my son up to northern Minnesota to go hiking. And we actually came out after a week of hiking, and the Anishinaabe Indians, Native Americans, were there telling stories. And we were invited in, and we heard them share their stories. So that was it. So the mission, Dave, the mission is to present storytelling performances which celebrate and preserve the power and pleasure of our varied cultural traditions and human experiences, and to promote the art of storytelling for all ages. Now, our vision is really to be the foremost festival in the upper Midwest. And when I was out in Utah, a couple of storytellers said, "You are already there." I said, "Well, we're working on it."
Awesome. Well, Taff, we're right here at the end of the program. Just again, Storytelling Festival, Sandbar Storytelling Festival next week. And give us the web address so people can get all the details. SandbarStorytelling.org. Go to the website. You can buy the tickets there. And there's a food truck. There's a Jamaican food truck up there. There's all things are going on. I'd like to thank all our sponsors. HBC was one of the first sponsors when we first started it. You listened to us. We want to thank the volunteers and everybody's involved. Please come down. Storytelling. Discover storytelling. It's not what you think it is. It's not reading stories to kids. No, it's not. Taff, always a pleasure to see you. Thanks for joining us today. Thank you, Dave. Goodbye now. And thank you for joining us as well. We'll see you next time here on The Roll.